Alright guys, how you guys doing? Welcome to Apple Weekly number 47, the show where I cover everything Apple over the past week. Give you all the kind of latest stuff going on in the Apple sphere and hopefully get a debate going in the comment section below, being broadcasted on both YouTube and iTunes. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our two sponsors, parcelmonkey.com, excellent courier guys. Go onto Parcel Monkey website, book yourself a courier, they come to your doorstep and pick it up. The good thing is it's kind of well-known couriers, CityLink, Parcel Force, UPS, and the rates are pretty dirt cheap. So if you were to approach these couriers directly, it'd be 5 to 10 times higher. So Parcel Monkey is pretty good that way, and it's pretty reliable. I use it, you know, quite a lot as well. I'm not just saying that because they sponsor the show, but I have used them personally. To date, I still use them, so it's pretty good. The second sponsor is iGear.com. Simply put, 18 pockets, one jacket, made for your gadgets and travel essentially. You can put your iPad inside it, MacBook Air 11, it's got finger friendly pockets. And stay tuned because the next range for iGear is coming soon. So stay in touch with the iGear social media channels on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and if you haven't liked the iGear Facebook channel, I would appreciate it very much. Moving on to the first story, iPhone 4S problems. That is correct. A number of people have reported issues with the whole iPhone 4S recently launched, and they almost relate to audio, phone issues, bell issues. If you visit Apple's own forums or board, there seems to be lengthy discussions with some posts reaching over 300 to 400 posts. They range from people trying to make phone calls, they can't hear the ringer itself, they can see the dial on it, but they can't hear the other person on the end. People can hear echoes, people can hear kind of static noises. So it's just a wide number of problems where people have even gone into stores to replace the phones. That hasn't helped. So people are giving out what network they're on, what phone they're on, trying to get some sort of idea as to what is going on. I must admit, I know people who have it both in my house and close people who have recommended the 4S to, and there doesn't seem to be a problem in the UK at least, or the people who I know. So if you do have a problem, let me know in the comments below. It'd be interesting to see how many of you who went and got out the 4S are experiencing difficulties. No doubt Apple is on this because they have recently released Beta 2 for iOS 5, not only for the security updates, the bug fixes, but the battery life, which I reported last week as well, which the 4S is experiencing. So yeah, I'm sure Apple engineers have got a huge eye open on the forums. And staying on with iPhone 4S problems, Siri experienced its first outage on the 3rd of November. It went down. So people specifically in the United States who were trying to ask it questions, it was just coming back up with, can't help you. Now this just wasn't one person having the problem, this was a number of people, even on Twitter, were kind of moaning about Siri being down. Was it down for you? I tried it when it happened and it seemed to be fine in the UK, so it could just be US based, but later that day or a few hours later they fixed the problem, and I hope it's not going to be a regular occurrence. Moving along, the next story is in relation to Apple Retail Store, and I'm not too sure why it's in this segment. I guess this week has been a bit of a dry week when it comes to Apple related stories. New store, or a new glass pane or cube, has been fitted in the New York store. The only Apple retail store in the world which is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, has been revolutionised. In a sense that the cube of the actual store used to have 90 panes, and now it's got a magical 15. I've personally never been to this retail store, and I'm not too sure why I'm mentioning it here, but I would rather go to the Shanghai one, which looks way better. That said, this store a few months ago was the most photographed location in the United States, or at least in New York anyway. But hey, I'm just saying, the Shanghai and Hong Kong stores look way nicer. Do you agree or disagree? And it only cost $6 million US. Next up, Apple's Vice President of Global Security, basically Jack Bauer, has stepped down from Apple. He came in 2007 and he's left. And the reason he's left is reportedly due to the iPhone 4S lost in a bar scenario. It's the second time it's happened. Of course, last year Gizmodo got their hands on the iPhone 4. This year the kind of same thing happened. The 4S was left in a bar. Apple went after the guys in secret police uniforms, FBI style. And this guy, this vice president guy, was previously an FBI agent, so no doubt he did have the Jack Bauer interrogation briefcase. But he has indeed stepped in due to this issue. But what's more concerning, I guess, to us is the number of vice presidents and, you know, big guys leaving Apple. For example, Sarah Brody, who was the lead Apple designer, left Apple and went to PayPal. We had the vice president of Mac OS X, he also left. Then we've got Ron Johnson, who was a retail guy who left for JCPenney. He was the mastermind behind all the, you know, really cool, well laid out Apple stores and the success it had. So I guess it's really not a good thing for investors by all these top-notch people leaving. And the next story is probably my favourite. I said this in last week's episodes, so you heard it first from Apple Weekly, that the next year for Apple is going to be the year of the redesigned. And DigiTime claims indeed that is going to be the case. They claim that the iPad 3 is going to be launched in the March timeframe with a thinner design, better battery life. It's only going to be a minor update because there's going to be an iPad 4 in the year, in the end of the year. So basically iPad 3 and iPad 4 next year, which is insane. Other than that, they claim that the MacBook Airs are going to get redesigned. Most probably not. What they're most probably referring to is MacBook Pro 15-inch and MacBook Pro 17-inch becoming MacBook Airs. So I'm thinking more along the sides of MacBook Air 11-inch and 13-inch become just standard MacBooks, but the same form factor, but just they lose the term Air. I don't know. And then the 15-inch and the 17-inch become the Pro versions, but they've got Air-like features in a sense that they're thin, but yet still juicy, if you get my drift. The iMacs haven't been updated since late 2009, so it kind of makes sense for them to get a refresh, whether it be in Q2 or Q3, something thunderboltish, you know, blackish. I'm hoping for, you know, a much more crisper display. I'm not too sure what they're going to do because of the resolution of the screen. But a matte finish would be nice. It would be, trust me, it would be nice. I mean, I'm spoiled by my MacBook Air screen right now, and coming onto this, it just seems to be a mirror. And of course, not forgetting the iPhone 5 or the iPhone 4S Plus 1. They need to redesign it next year no matter what. They can't keep the same design. So next year is going to be pretty big and epic, just the way she likes it. And the last thing, I'm not too sure why I'm saying this, apparently if you say something negative about a company, you get fired. No shit, Sherlock. Basically a guy has said something negative about Apple and he's complaining because he got disciplined, i.e. kicked out of work. I guess this is not just typical Apple, but any company that you work for, you slate them on social media networks such as Twitter, Facebook and so on. Of course there's going to be some action taken against you. But guys, this is it for Apple Weekly. I hope you guys liked it. Any comments, abuse you'd like to throw, feel free to do so. The comment section is open below. Heck, if you want to throw abuse via video response, that would be even more epic, as I'd like to see the face as opposed to just text now and then, you know, it'd be pretty nice. Leave it in the videos, that'd be pretty nice. Of course you can watch on iTunes. If you guys can do me a favour and rate the iTunes podcast, that would be pretty epic. You don't have to, but you know, if you have magical powers, and I guess it'll just make me love you just that bit more. Guys, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember, I do have these other YouTube channels where I make vlogs, youtube.com/zen, youtube.com/iGlaswegian and youtube.com/iGear. They're all good in their own respect, and I didn't want to mix everything into the one channel. So be sure to have a look, and I'll see you guys next week in Apple Weekly number 48. Cheers guys! Looking to send a package at the lowest price possible? Simple. Visit parcelmonkey.co.uk, follow these 4 simple steps, have the package collected from your doorstep, and then sit back and relax.